my friends. Someone under the Gneisner video told me that I sound like Night Shift, and yeah, that's pretty funny. I don't think that I sound like Night Shift, but after this I went to Discord and to some friends and they confirmed that I kind of sound like Night Shift. For the video today, it's not the Bismarck video. I know, I promised it like over a month ago. Thing is, I have 5 minutes of footage for the stuff that I did after the first part of the video. And I'm trying to write a script and reenact with a very, very smaller Bismarck style model. Not really the Bismarck, but with 2 Bismarck kits. And then I try to reenact everything just on a smaller scale and give you some insights on what I did. But this is something that will happen like at the end of summer. So yeah, I'm sorry for this, but anyways, let's get to the topic of today's video. I was recently playing one of my favorite games, Call of Duty World at War, and some missions inspired me to make a diorama, yet again. And without further ado, I show you the cutscene and then we hear us when I'm building the diorama.
Our grip tightens around the black heart of Berlin. The Fuhrer demands all to shed their last drop of blood in its defense. The old, the young, the weak. If they stand for Germany, they die for Germany. Building by building, room by room, one rat at a time.
So I've chosen some minifigures, obviously depicting the German side for this diorama. 2 of them are from the Artillery Winter Infantry kit, and another 2 are from the Sylvester Volkssturm kit. Speaking of the Volkssturm, I have 2 other Volkssturm soldiers here, which are 3D printed and were a real pain to get off of their supports. I won't buy from this company again, I won't name it, but I won't buy from them again. So yeah, I started with painting the faces in a darker tone and then made them lighter with the next brighter color I could find from my skin tone set, and I think this works better in 1/35 scale instead of 1/72. But anyways, learning experience for me. So then I went over the figures with some German field grey and some upper colors, but mainly field grey for the overcoats and uniform pieces in general. I wanted to give 2 soldiers, not 3 soldiers, camouflage uniforms, but then after looking at my camouflage tunic from my reenactment uniform, I really saw that I didn't do a great job and just overpainted them, for except one soldier I didn't really care about and found again. Well, let's just put it there as a reminder for myself. Here you can see my missed attempts at the camouflage. The first soldier I tried to do a swamp camouflage, and yeah, the colors didn't really match up. On the second soldier I tried to do a normal Zeitbahn, and yeah, this really didn't work as well, so I have to get better colors for this in the next time. But the soldier of the Panzerfaust mostly stayed like this. Here you can see 1/72 scale bricks that I put in place with white glue, mostly because this is supposed to be like the big leftovers from the collapsed house to its side. And yeah, it isn't much. I should have needed way more stuff to make it very, very larger, but that's fine for me. Speaking about the diorama base, as you can see here, I used some styrofoam where I cut the road myself with my scalpel and a trusty toothpick to achieve that look. I have like 3 craters on this diorama, and I painted with a blue Sharpie where everything should go and how it will look out. After I primed the diorama or the road with some grey, you don't see the blue lines anymore, which is a good thing because I fear that it will stick out under the lighter color. After I added the stones, I added some roof tiles, not as much as of the stones. They were a bit bigger. I thought of breaking some, but I only broke one, which isn't even visible at the end because it's on the back of the house. And then I test fitted the house for the painting. For the painting I applied some dark sand from Tamiya XF60 to the house, and then for the road I just used some light grey. Not really sure what XF it was, but I will put a pic of it into the top left corner so you can see which colors I used. There was a bit of overspray, but that's no problem. I used it as some dust from the collapsed building, and as you can see the blue lines are not visible anymore. So for painting the craters I used Tamiya buff and some black. The black I also used on the house to make those burn effects. Doesn't look 100% realistic, but it's worth for what it was. I mean, the house could be bombed since 43, 44, and there was some cleaning up done for the house to act. While I was talking, you can see that I dry brushed over the road with a lighter gray color to make some stones more pronounced in the middle to give it this naturally used look. I also did the same thing on the dragon tooth just to pronounce it a bit more so it isn't really one piece with the road. Now I'm picking out the bricks with some Tamiya red brown, and after I'm done picking them out, giving them their base color, I just gave them a very light color using red brown and flat white to achieve this some highlighted look. And after this I dry brushed over with the gray to show at least some of the bricks are not really exposed after the collapse of the building. After placing the minifigures down and do some of the last detail painting and switching from the camouflage uniforms to just field grey uniforms, I called it good.
Jeder Kontakt zum Fallschirmjäger ist abgebrochen. Heute Nachmittag zugeteilt! Was? Die sollen raus da aus der Schusslinie! Brigadeführer, der Volkssturm! Unterliegt dem direkten Befehl von Dr. Goebbels! Panzervernichtungsblock! Ich will sofort, dass die da rauskommen! Das ist doch Wahnsinn! Ich kläre das!
As you can see now, the diorama turned out pretty nice. I applied a sentence there which means Berlin bleibt Deutsch, Berlin stays German. Common wall graffiti from 1945 before and during the Battle of Berlin. I did a great job at messing it up. Yeah. Anyways, apart from that, I added a Czech hedgehog. I used the red brown for it, but since the plastic for metallurgy isn't really keen to paintbrushing Tamiya colors on it, there is some small highlights, so to say, which look like it's been rusting or not, or just, you know, like rusty metal with some, well, more exposed areas and some not so exposed areas. The bomb crater turned out nicely, and yes, there is some overspray with the buff. As you saw before in the photo collage, one soldier has a brown leather greatcoat and a leather hat. He has a red armband, at least a red stripe, which symbolizes it is an armband. This is not a party member of the NSDAP. This is someone in civilian clothing fighting for the Germans. Those armbands were given out in 1944 and 45 to the Volkssturm to at least have somewhat of uniformity, that they are belonging to the armed forces, the Wehrmacht, and are not just like civilians taking up arms like partisans, which are not protected under the Geneva Convention. And anyways, I hope you enjoyed the diorama. I hope you liked that I added the colors that I use. If you want to see this in the future as well, just let me know. Then for every painting step, I put the colors on the top left or even on the top right, depends on where the best place is during editing. And the mixing ratios, I'm not really sure if I can do the mixing ratios because most stuff is eyeballed. I hope you enjoyed this video and this small talk. In the next video we will talk about a few changes to the channel. And until then, I wish you a very nice rest of your day.